Lenoir was in here the other day, and he was talking about how the hit that he made at the end of that Philly game, he felt like that was kind of the moment where he was like, I can do this at a high level at either position. Did you see something click in him last year where like his confidence just kind of flew over the top?
Actually, I think his confidence started the year before, when he played in the playoffs. I think that Dallas game, he had an interception, whatnot, and I think he finished with maybe 2 interceptions, I think, in the playoffs. Or maybe 1, but I think that was a confidence booster for him going into the next season, which led into last year's season. So I think he came into the season very confident with his play, and that continued on. And we started outside for the most part with Isaiah Oliver, and he played well. But I think that hit that in that Philly game was a determined factor. Hey, he'll strike your ass, like he will hit you, So that also gave him more confidence, as well. But he playing at a high level. He doing a great job taking the ball away. I think the thing that showed up, he got his hands on more balls last year, and he's more confident at the point of attack for attacking the ball. And you're seeing that right now in training camp. I think he got 2 INTs and 2 BBUs, so he's very confident attacking the ball, turning the BBUs into interceptions.
Did you show that hit, or was that hit shown around after that game that week? Do you remember?
Absolutely, we showed it. Most definitely, we showed it. And we just showed it from a technique standpoint. Strike zone, that's a big hit. When you're hitting a defensive player, you got to know how to tackle a guy, a defensive player. So we call it the strike zone. Hit shoulder through the sternum, aiming below the neck, above the knee. So it's a T-shaped strike zone, clean hit.
And what's the reaction in the room when that one?
Guys was fired up. Fired up.
You fired up too, right?
Absolutely, fired up right now.
What can you say about his mentality? Just kind of, for lack of a better, it just seems like he gives off really good vibes. Like what strikes you about Diamador and just how he carries himself?
Yeah, they call him the hyena. He's a dog. He's competitive, man. He's probably one of the most competitive players I've probably been around. I would say that at nickel and I know this is contract year, and some guys on their contract year, they may be scared to turn it loose. You see in training camp, he's not scared at all. He go out there corner, he gonna press, he can play off, he go on the nickel, he bang, he come to tackle and all that. So the thing is, I know there's a lot of money on the table for him right now for us going into his contract year, but he's playing fearless. And that's why I take my hat off to him. That's how he plays, and that's who he always been.
Daniel, how much of a say did you have in the drafting of a lot of the guys in your room over the last couple of years? Because just looking at that room, there's probably 10, 12 guys in there. Personnel department did you right.
Every guy that I had to say so, and every guy that we brought in, done one thing with John Lynch and our scouts, they do a great job for us. Working by committee for us, taking everybody input. They do a great job with that. So I definitely evaluated every player that came in. Of course, they made the final decision. I just told them the guys I like, and we kind of went from there. But we're very involved. It's collaborative. They do a great job collaborating. We all do a great job collaborating. Whether it's Kyle, whether it's John, the scouts, whether it's the position coach or the regional scout in the area, we do a great job collaborating and making sure that we find the right guy that fit our scheme.
What have been your impressions of Isaac Yadam since you've had him here?
He's a pro. He's having a great camp. I'm excited about him. He's playing his butt off. He's good in man coverage. Our room got better having him. He's been consistent. I say he's a consistent player. And it shows on and off the field. I'm excited about him. And we definitely got better with him on the back end.
When he signed, John Lynch told us that he's one of those guys that, sometimes it just takes a little time. Like, you got to get in the right scheme, you got to get your feet under you, all that kind of stuff. Is there still, things underneath the surface that he can still just kind of scratch on the surface on?
Absolutely. He coming from a scheme from New Orleans where they play a lot of man coverage, and coming here now, you playing in the zone scheme that can play man as well, but now your vision, now your eyes, changes. So now you got to see the big picture for us, matching routes and this and that. That's what's different from him when he first got here, but he didn't get better at it every single day he stepped out on the field. But from a scheme standpoint, he fit our scheme. I know he was drafted early on, and he was drafted high. I know he didn't play as much early on. I think he played early on. Then at one time, he's more of a special team guy. But he took advantage of the opportunity when his time came in New Orleans, and now he's taking advantage of the opportunity that we're giving him here.
When you lost Jimmy Ward and Mosley, not only you lose good football players, but you lost some true alphas. Is Renardo Green and Malik Mustapha? They're young, but are they alpha type guys in the room?
Yeah, them guys definitely have our DNA. Them guys fast, smart, and physical. And them dudes got a work ethic. And they versatile. You look at players, they versatile. Jimmy Ward's versatile. So when you're looking at evaluating guys and bringing guys in, similar to Jimmy Ward, Of course, you want that mindset, being physical. You want guys that are versatile. So when you look at Malik, he can play strong safety, he can play free safety, he got range, he come down the box, he can blitz, he can cover. Same as Jimmy Ward, which he can cover, but you want to bring in guys like that, like Ronaldo. He played mostly corner on the outside, but you can see he took reps at nickel for his OTAs and done a great job for that, and also in training camp. So, you want guys that's versatile that makes your secondary better, so you want to be pigeonholed.
Back on Isaac for a second, you mentioned he played a lot of man in New Orleans. Obviously, you guys play a lot of zone. How do you, when you guys are kind of evaluating where this guy is going to fit, like how do you try to project, like, okay, we're going to have him playing zone majority of the time, what are the skills that translate, things like that?
The thing about our scheme, we can play zone, we can play man as well, so we can mix it up, in regards to that. But when you evaluate the player, especially for me, when you're looking at corner, first, you got to have a corner that can cover. I'd rather have a corner that can cover and teach him zone, sagging than the other way around, because we got a corner that can't really cover, then you can't force yourself to play zone. So I don't want to be there. I want a guy that can cover. So you look at like Ronaldo Green, he can cover. Play pretty man coverage locked down, but now we just got to teach him zone. All you got to do is just teach him where his eyes at, what we matching this and that, giving them more opportunity to make more plays on the ball from that. So when you look at our scheme and our personnel for us item, bringing them in, like we know he can play man, play fire zones and man. For opponents' standpoint, like they don't have that many techniques, but once he pick up those zone techniques, he get reps at, he get better at it, and the more reps he get, the more confident he get, and it's proof that he done it. So not only when he comes from New Orleans, he was at Green Bay Packers, so he played in multiple schemes as well, and also you got a guy like Staley, that was a big part of that too, bringing in Ike Yadam, because he was with him with the Broncos during that time. So he was familiar with the guy, especially as an IQ guy. So you got to have smart players that can do it, So you just we want smart players that represent our DNA that can do it.
Yes, player, you played for coaches who played in the league, you played for coaches who didn't. What as a guy who played in the league, what can you bring as a coach today?
Experience.
How does that help you as a coach?
It helps a lot because you bring experience to the room from a player experience, so you've been in their shoes, you know what they're going through. On and off the field. In regards to that, and then also I can relate to the guys as well. Because like coach and play my position, you know what it takes and whatnot. So sometimes they can give you the edge, but just because you're a former player, that don't mean that you're gonna be a great coach either.
Daniel, what was the reaction in the room when you showed the practice replay of the savage one-handed Mustapha Pick from Dobbs the other day? That thing was incredible.
It was incredible, man. That's one thing that Malik showed on tape. Like, you didn't see that range just going sideline to sideline range, but you see the range because he's flying all over the field. And his movement skill, the kid can move, but it was a hell of a play. He read the quarterback eyes. I think Dobbs tried to look him off. He stayed true, and he ball out break. And you saw the range just for him to go up and get it, man. I was fired up, like taking the ball away. And that's one thing you want for the defense. Our guys were fired up. Like, anytime our guys get hands on the ball, like, all our DBs should be celebrating. You know what I'm saying? Throwing a fist pump, and I make that mandatory. And I show that. Once I show the play, I'm gonna show the sideline shot. I'm like, hey, who's not celebrating? So like, and it's contagious. And then what it do is it make everybody want to go get the ball.
Do you have any clips that you show, like how to celebrate from certain things?
I let them do it. I let them do it. So this young generation, they like to dance, whatever they do. That's their time. So I just get excited. I just love seeing guys go out there and make plays and get better.
Can Malik play the deep middle, and can he play free safety? I mean, who is the free safety on this team right now?
They both safeties are interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? So Jari Bryant's been playing free safety. You ask me, can he play free safety? The one thing that showed up was the range.
Right.
Going sideline to go get the ball. Now, at the free safety spot, you got to be at the tackle and cover. We ask our free safety a little bit more than strong safety. Our free safety come down and cover a little bit more than the strong safety, especially in critical downs. But they both interchangeable. They both doing the same job. So Malik can play free in the shoulder. He can play free in the scheme because most times you line up at strong safety right now. But in afternoon walkthroughs, he's going to free safety, getting no reps to as well as free safety. So I think Malik can play free and strong.
How much do you need to see in, whether it's, I don't know whether you value preseason or joint practices more, but how much do you need to see in those? You guys talk about eraser plays, but limiting, when a guy hits the second level and you are that lone guy, how much do you need to see in those to feel comfortable with, a rookie?
Hopefully you don't see it much. If everybody doing their job, we won't get to the eraser, right. Especially when you making those tackles though. But as a rookie, the biggest thing is very encouraging when you're taking the right angles to the ball. that ball gonna get through. If they run the ball, it's gonna get to the racer every day at practice because we're not going to the ground, tackling to the ground. So the biggest thing for me is I want to see that angle. Is he taking the correct angle, track to the ball carrier, so it's inside out, outside in, and make sure you're in a good football position at the point of attack. So that's very encouraging. Then when they show up in the game, you want to see that, and then you want to just see him finish on contact in the game. So the more he be put in that position at practice, which he's put in that position in practice a lot, because we can't tackle, you just want to see it show up on game day. And if they show up on game day, then that's probably the hardest thing to do as a safety.
How excited are you to actually see Malik hit somebody?
Very excited. I'm excited for all them guys to hit somebody and take the ball away. The biggest thing is, like, I ask my DBs, you going for the hit or the ball? You want to take the ball away.
Some teams have, you look at some rosters around the NFL, there's teams that have 3 or 4 good corners. You guys might have 8. I mean, you guys have a lot of great corner depth here. How about some of these other young guys like Luter and Womack? I mean, those guys are going to be hard-pressed to make the team, but they're incredibly talented. What are you seeing from those 2 guys?
I see them guys just take their game up. Competition brings out the best, especially if you're a competitor. And you see Darrell Luter playing his best football right now. He's a guy that got better, especially in press man coverage, zone coverage, playing off. He's athletic, got a lot of upsides. He's very smart as well. And the thing is, you see him, he's taking the ball away. I think he got 2 interceptions, and some of the interceptions was very impressive when he went up and got it as well. And AT is another guy too as well that's getting better. He's been consistent. He's flying around. He's playing with a lot of urgency to his game as well. And he got in his hands on ball too as well. So when you got a lot of competition, it don't make guys better. Of course, guys want to count numbers, depending on how many guys you may keep. But it's a great problem to have. I tell you that.
Yep.
What's the most difficult adjustment that you notice for guys coming in from college to the pros in this system specifically that are playing in the secondary?
To get mentally, it's in the game mentally. Physically we all talented, they all fast, big, whatnot, small, whatever. But at the end of the day, mentally it's picking up the scheme, learning your techniques, because learning your techniques, picking up scheme, that's the first part of it. Just knowing your job, and then the shit get the movement for us, motion and all that sort of stuff can change on the fly. So we can go from one coverage based off emotion or whatnot. So mentally, that's the biggest challenge. So if a guy willing to put in the hard work, for us learning the playbook, and you look at guys like the rookies that we got, Jalen Mahoney, Malik, and RG, them guys always in the building, in the playbook. They always in the office. They always going over plays in the playbook, because we're going to continue to install stuff every day. So the more comfort they get from a mental standpoint, where they can go out there and line up and know their job and play fast, they're going to have success.
Demo compared Staley to Shanahan the other day. You've only been working with Staley for a short amount of time, but Demo's obviously impressed. I thought that was a great sign that Staley, whatever he's imparted to him, has won him over. Tell us a little bit about Staley from your perspective.
Staley's a big addition to our staff. He's working with us heavily in the back end. He's involved in our meetings as well. He's helping Coach Nichols. He brings a lot of knowledge and wisdom to the game. He wore different hats. For us being a DC, being a position coach, or being a head coach, so he see the game from a different perspective. He can see a lot, so he understands offense scheme, he understands defense scheme. So just having that wisdom and just having him in the room, just speaking up, I may be up there running tape, and then he'll be like, "Hey, coach, can I talk?" And he'll say something. He may be talking more. He might not necessarily be talking about the defense, maybe talking about the offense, like personnel matchups, this and that. So I think that's definitely beneficial, helpful to us as a staff. And not only as a staff, but they help us on the defense side of the ball as well. I think it's been a great addition.
From that same perspective of scouting the other side of the ball, what have you seen from Ricky Pearsall? And I mean, from my perspective, he looks like one of the best route runners you have on this team. What challenges does he present, and what are you seeing from him?
You feel his presence on the football field. When he's out there running routes, you feel him.
Really?
You feel him. Like, he's a good route runner. He's good at the top of the route. He can separate as well. He does a great job getting off press. And our guys, it's been a challenge. It's making our guys better too as well, covering him as well. So, one thing I see, he has a person out there on the field.
What's a Daniel Bullock's meeting room look like? I mean, I watch Hard Knocks, and sometimes these guys are dropping all kinds of hate and F-bombs and all kinds of stuff, telling stories and running guys down. What do you? What's your style like? If we walked into your meeting room, what's it like in there?
We just keep the main thing. We just talk ball. It's teaching. It's teaching. And, it's a collaborative effort. Everybody involved, everybody communicating. It's no different when our players on the field, they communicate. When I turn on the tape, the first thing they doing, all right, closed up. The guys making their calls, so it's no different. So like we in a game mode, like when you watching tape. So it's like ain't no funny stories. I don't really have no funny stories. I'm straight to the point. I'm all about ball and just trying to get better. I know we're on a limited time when we are meeting, so we just want to make sure we take advantage of that meeting time for us hitting all the points that we need to hit.
So I know the scheme has its roots kind of in that Seattle cover 3, and obviously Brandon comes from that like Fangio coaching tree. Without getting into specifics and schematics, is there room to kind of work in wrinkles from both? And is that something that what's the challenge that goes into something like that when you are getting somebody who's highly respected, who's coming into the meeting room with those kind of ideas and pitching that stuff? Like, what's the process like?
The thing is, our scheme is flexible. You know what I'm saying? I know he operated from a 3-4 scheme. We also have that in our package too as well. Mm-hmm. And just having someone that's highly respected with him, who's been a DC and has some of the best defense in the league, you know, he brings some good ideas to the table that we can improve that package within our scheme. So you may see us, you know what I'm saying, be more of that, a little bit more than we have in the past, but that's one thing that just having this experience helps evolve the defense and make our part of that package better. Not only part of that package, but make our overall defense better as well, with techniques, pass rush, scheme, coverage adjustment, add new coverage is going to help us that we necessarily didn't run in the past. So he has been a great addition.
I know everybody sort of takes on off-season sort of research projects to, maybe look at things you didn't have the time or the bandwidth during the season. What was your off-season research project that you sort of dove into?
Just self-evaluation, evaluate myself. If there's certain drills that I can do that can help my players more, they would benefit more. Evaluate the drills. Not only that, evaluate the teaching of the techniques. If we can improve a certain technique, where a player can be more successful at it. And then we get to the player, evaluate the player, what his strength and weakness is, and see if we can improve that weakness and make it become a strength and continue to improve the strength.
When you evaluated the Super Bowl, I don't know, it's probably a sore subject, but I was listening to Spagnuolo the week after the Super Bowl, and he was really crediting Snead and McDuffie for playing incredible ball in that game. When you watched the film of the game and kind of rewatched it, do you agree with Spags? Were those two DBs made largely responsible for that victory?
I just know they won the game. Them guys evidently played a good game, to win the game. I don't know about their performance particularly. I didn't really watch their performance particularly. I'm more concerned about us as a team.
Sure.
But they did whatever it takes to win the game. They got the job done. I take my hat off to them.
Yeah.
How's your recovery going?